There we go. Okay, we are live, and we're streaming. We're not live, but this is probably right around where everybody's gonna see us coming up. So I'm just gonna hit go live.
Let's do it.
Because we're there. Can let the signal stabilize. There we go.
Stabilizing signal, Captain.
Okay. So, I really wanted that chocolate chip cookie along with my coffee, and I'm realizing maybe I shouldn't be putting food in my mouth during the stream while I'm trying to also talk through a bunch of stuff.
I hear that. But chocolate chip cookies are delicious.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no denying that. That's not the problem. The lack of deliciousness is not the issue.
The real question is, can it legitimately be resisted? I don't know. Scientists and scholars have looked into this issue for many, many decades.
Well, it's sitting right there, and I already know it's delicious. Okay, so my local, let's see. npm run dev. Am I about to have some sort of a local issue here? Port 3000 is in use. Oh, I wonder if I have a ghost.
Do you have another server running?
Yeah, if I had, because I had it running earlier. Oh, here. Okay. Yep. Okay. So I'm just gonna exit that one. Yep. That's why I never do that. I should never, ever, ever do that. Let's try this again.
What's a ghost server? I don't know that terminology.
Well, what I thought was maybe happening is that I had a terminal open earlier, and then I closed it without stopping the server. So I was wondering if that kept running in the background, but that's not what was going on. It was that, so because I run NeoVim in my my terminal, the terminal window itself can have its own tabs. Those are not tabs within the NeoVim. It's just the terminal has two different instances running. And sometimes what I do, and for convenience, but I shouldn't do this, is that I'll open up, I'll have one tab to run NeoVim in, and then in that same terminal window, I'll have a second tab, and I'll use that to start up my local environment, my dev environment. But then I end up putting the NeoVim full screen, and then so those tabs of the terminal window are not viewable, right? It just looks like one window. So then that thing hides back there, and I start looking around like, wait, where am I running that environment? And that's what had happened.
I see.
So I need to just set up a strict rule for myself to never do that. It's like one terminal, one window for NeoVim, and then another terminal window for my environment stuff. Yes. Okay. Well, with that intro, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Upskill&Chill. We are your hosts. And do we want to start out with any sharing of music? I don't have anything prepared. I could come up with some music to throw out there.
I did not prepare anything myself. Totally forgot about that, honestly.
Okay. Maybe I'll still use him next time. But I'm just gonna shout out Corey Wong. I've been listening to some Corey Wong recently, and I love going back through those albums. So
Corey Wong is fantastic.
Yeah, all of his stuff is great. It's actually really funny. I was listening to a bunch of his older stuff and then kind of semi-sequentially up through his playlist. And his older stuff sounds quite a bit different than his newer, more recent stuff. It was a different sound. As it's still very good, but what he has now is just so just fleshed out, right? You got the whole horn section, got all that happening. A lot of some of his older original stuff didn't even have horns on it, which is kind of his sound now.
Yeah, that's right.
But and there's also a great the Turbo album of Corey Wong and Dirty Loops, which is awesome.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Ooh, it's
That's definitely worth
fantastic.
a listen.
Yeah, because
Dirty
Dirty
Loops
Loops
is
is also
fantastic.
another band that I love. So yeah, definitely check that out. I should stop drinking in the middle of sentences. It's
it
not.
it starts that way, and then it evens out.
It's
Um,
not good
yeah,
stuff.
I would shout out. There's an artist that was actually in the last video I shared. His name is Kiefer. He's a pianist, or rather a producer, pianist, beat maker, that kind of thing. And he's perhaps more notable than the artist I shared last week, Cartoons.
Hmm.
Um, but incredible sound. He's very much representative of this sort of modern movement, with the fusion of hip hop and jazz together.
Oh,
Not just making beats, but then applying that jazz language over it. He produces for a lot of other artists too, like Anderson Paak, for instance. I think he's probably the most notable artist he's worked with. But definitely worth a check out. I'll share something from him next week. I didn't have any links planned or anything today, but he's one of my favorites out there. LA guy too. So
okay. Awesome. Yeah, good
okay,
stuff. I still need to actually look up your band and listen to them. I'm very excited to do so, but I didn't actually end up getting around to doing that just yet. But I'm
Sugar
excited
Mill
to,
Slim. Look
yeah,
us up.
looking forward to checking that out as well. All right. Well, I'm not sure what kind of hard out that you have exactly. I know that we're going an hour earlier so that you have time to be able to make it
Yes,
to a graduation ceremony. Is that correct?
that's right. That's right. For my niece, shout outs to Kira.
Congratulations, Kira. Good job. Good luck on your future endeavors as well. Uh,
Absolutely. And yeah, I'm good till 1 hour from now, or 10 my time, basically.
cool.
I guess that's
Awesome.
noon for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yes, sir. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Let's get to some
And
upskilling.
yeah, and then I'm kind of taking the reins this time. Courtney, if you haven't seen last week's episode, go check out last week's episode. Courtney did a masterclass on how to set up a Prisma database, or a Prisma integration in Next, and then hook that up to the Neon database service and make an endpoint. It was fantastic. So we're going to be picking up from that. So here we are back in our to do. And so what the first thing I wanted to do is that now that we have a backend endpoint, that backend endpoint is successfully sending information onto our database and creating an item in our database. So we have the separation that we need to close is from our front end to our back end. And that happens down here in our handle submit. So let me pull up my my notes here. And
Yeah, this is all part of our endeavor to finally be able to use our to do app to create to do items, so that we can then further propel our our efficiency in the
yeah,
future,
and
our productivity.
uh, maybe maybe I'll be a little bit more organized once, or organized in general, once we have this to do item as well, this to do list finally created. So I'm just going to kind of try and start at the top here and go down. We had discussed that we needed to, let's see, in our state we have our created at, but we are also thinking about adding an ID, correct? Right?
That's
um,
right.
and we were thinking about populating this. The ID is going to be, I think it's going to start out as null, just as a default, um, because I think what we end up getting is a string or a number. I can't remember, but um, are we gonna use UUID here, like we were thinking? Like
I did a
we were
little
talking.
research into this.
Yeah, go for it.
And it seems like that would be a viable option. So the big issue with assigning ID on the back end, which is what we're doing currently, is that potentially that doesn't scale very well. Now, that's probably not an issue for you and me in terms of our to do app, because I'm not sure that we're going to have millions of users, but maybe it would be good practice. I think it might be a good it might be a good exercise to convert that in the future. I need a little more time to look into UUID and exactly like how that works. But that seems like it's considered like one of the best practices. Either that or assigning through the database. Um, I need to look into it. One thing that we want to avoid, though, is assigning it fully on the front end, because that then exposes our IDs to others for their own use, and we don't really
Ah,
want to expose data if we don't have to, especially
okay.
for something as important as an ID.
That's a very good point. So are we thinking the back end
For
endpoint
now,
is where we should put? Are we going to skip this for now, or
yeah, I think for now we can do what we talked about, which is really just like a band-aid, which is set our type for ID as either number or null. And then we'll supply a null value when we submit. The database will assign the ID for now, auto increment and all that. And then maybe in a future episode, we can actually start to show like how to build a UUID system. Again, it's not something I'm fully familiar with at this point. There you go.
is this how we do it? Right? Math.floor, math.random times, is it 10 times 100?
I think it's times. What does this provide you with?
It provides you with a number between
I think it's
0 and
1,000.
1, right?
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember, is math.random, how many decimal points is it taking you? That's
I think it goes a bunch, but then floor cuts it off, so you're not going to get a floating point number. And then
right.
this is going to give us how many places. So this will be like a number in the thousands. This will have like 4 places to the
Yeah, this will
left of
do.
the decimal point. So we'll just do that for now. We'll make it a number. Um, if anybody's curious, right? Math.random generates you a number between 0 and 1 randomly, semi-randomly. It's not perfect randomness. Um, and then math.floor will take that and turn it into a whole number. And then you're doing the times 1,000 on the random to just give you a bigger number. Yeah, I don't know all the math. Let's see. So
And to
we're
that
gonna
point, it's
go
not even particularly important since we're not submitting from there at this point. This is
right.
just to satisfy TypeScript, really.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in there just so that we have a placeholder. We have an ID, right? And then we can go along later and make it a legit ID, if you will. Okay, so we have the ID in there now at least, and we have okay, cool. This is gonna be I think the fun part. So we're gonna come down here. We're gonna handle submit. So our state gets updated on change. We handled that a couple times ago, and then we're eventually gonna hit the submit button, which is going to submit our form. We have the prevent default to keep the browser from refreshing when we hit that submit button, because that's the default behavior. And then we need to do some things, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna bring in here. Let's see. So I was thinking we could do this is the part I actually didn't prepare exactly the code here, but so I think we're gonna do. We'll call this new task. Maybe
Okay.
we'll make it equal to task, which is our state, right? So our state
Right.
up here has been updated throughout the process of filling out the form. Now we're gonna just copy that over to making new task, so that because then I can edit it, right? So new task dot created at. We're gonna make that equal to date dot now,
Okay.
and and that's right. Date dot now actually returns a number, which is going to be milliseconds since the epoch time, however you want to say that. And it's going to return a number instead of a string. So we have to change our type here to accept that. And that means our default here will just be 0. Make the default 0, right? I think that there shouldn't be any problem with that, I think.
Yeah, I
You can
think that's
correct me if I'm
okay.
wrong. But so we have now hit the submit button. So we're going to identify now we've created, this is the moment in time which we have created our task. And I think that is all that we actually need for upkeep in that area. The next thing we have to do is we're going to we're going to send this to our back end, right? Our endpoint. So we might be able to, I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to type out what I prepared, and then we can talk about what maybe needs to be updated in that. But the endpoint is task, right? That's the name of our endpoint. And
yes, made simple because we're operating within the Next ecosystem.
Yes. And actually, this will be new task. And then, so I have a wait on here. Async? No. I always get this kind of.
Oh, after the equal sign, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah, an async function. This is the arrow function declaration. Thank you. Yes. Because
Yes.
this is just the name of the thingamajig. I think I was thinking no, because if you did it with a function declaration, it would be like async function and then the function name, right?
Right.
I think async function foo like this. But okay, so we got an async function. So now we can call await on our fetch. And now I'm getting issues here. Let's see. No overload matches this call. Input string URL. Interesting. Yeah, I thought it was just going to be the fetch API. I had looked this up in the next docs, and let's see.
Overload matches this call. Overload one to input string URL request.
So this doesn't probably mean a whole lot.
Let me double check that. Do you have to
need
put the API at the top, like a /API/task?
Yeah, we probably something like that. I actually found Next's documentation on this to be slightly lacking.
Okay, let me just take a look myself here.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, you have to put /API in front of /task, so it knows that we're hitting the API route, which doesn't seem to have solved this problem.
No.
Let me think here. So you have your method inside the body. You might need to. So new task. We might need to JSON.stringify. New task.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good point.
That might not be what this error message is from, but I usually run into that anyway. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, because you're making an HTTP call, and you can't just send JavaScript like the raw code through there.
Yeah, it has to be in the right format,
It has
which
to
is
be a
JSON.
JSON format. Yep. Okay, good call. Yeah, I had forgotten about that step, but yes, very nice. Okay, so then this was the other part I was curious about. But yeah, all we have to do is point at our API directory and hit our
Very
task
convenient.
endpoint. Very
You don't have to
easy.
hit localhost or any other kind of URL.
Yes, that's very nice. And then that is going to send us back a response. So then we would, let's see. So we actually want to do this in a try catch. And then error. Okay. And
so talk me through what's happening in the try catch.
So that's a part of the async await syntax. So the try block is what's going to get executed. Try this, right? That's where you
Hmm.
put your awaited call, and that fetch is going to send out a signal. It's going to create a promise. It's going to wait, and then if an error comes back, then the try block is aborted, and we are switched over into the catch block, which will take the error and then you error handle here. So if we don't receive an error, then we should be able to log task created successfully.
Okay.
I'm butchering that. No, is it? No.
Yeah, you
This
got
is
it.
a
Two C's.
okay. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is a word I struggle with.
It's just the F you're missing.
Successfully.
There it is.
Jeez. Okay. Task
You
created
thought
success.
coding was hard in front of people. Try
Yeah,
spelling.
dude, spelling has always been an Achilles heel of mine. It just didn't come together for me in my school very well. Um, so now, yeah, as an adult, spelling is definitely like the thing that I'm always like really self-conscious about. So having to struggle with that on stream in front of everybody that's watching right now, uh, is um is good. So I'll just put our response in there. But this way we'll get a notification on the front end that we were successful, and then an error if we were not successful. And I think that's everything we need to be able to send this to our backend, right?
Let's try it out. Let's see.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's bueno. Um, except I need to. Okay, there we go. So let's go. I'll bring the app over here. Hit refresh on this. I'll open up the console, and we'll put stuff in here. That's all of our updates. We'll set this as like a medium priority. So we have
Okay.
completed false, created at, no timestamp yet. That's fine. Description, a task to do. ID, which was our random number. Spencer, priority. Oh, not my name. Oh my goodness. Oh, I just saw a name and just like, oh, my name is Spencer. Of course, it didn't help that my password manager popped up there and was like, hey, you want to put Spencer
Automatically,
in here,
put your name in here.
right?
You're on the to-do list.
Yeah. So that's actually not a bad thing to realize, is that in our form we have this input named as name, and and now that's bringing up my autocomplete in my browser, and they're thinking, oh, you want to put your name here. So that's something we should change for confusion, user experience, accessibility, probably.
I
uh,
see.
it shouldn't be name, it should probably be task name.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna change that right now. Task name. I'll use camel case. um, Oops, no, I've done it. I did it. Okay. Please tell me it's still in there. Yeah, okay. It's okay. I need to be better about that.
I think we should probably change. Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe the label too, or does the label need to change? Maybe the label can just say name still for the actual
Um,
form.
yeah.
Oh well, actually, we'll need to at least change HTML for.
Yes. Task name. And why not? Let's just call it task name. Or do we want to just call it task, or
Task maybe makes more sense. Yeah, I
just
like that better.
task? Okay. Let's see. So yeah, it'll just be the task, and then a description, and this will make more sense once we style this up too a bit. But okay, so we lost all that. I'm going to refresh just to bring all that into alignment and make sure that That should all be fine. So task, I'll just call it to do, a to do item, say medium, and again, let's just double check this. Priority 2, task name, description, ID, all that. And then what happens when we hit submit? Nothing. Something. Task created successfully. Now we did get a post error, internal server error.
Okay, let's
But
investigate that. Although it did say task created successfully.
yes. Can you bring up the database?
Sure. Let me see. You could check the server on your NeoVim though as well and see what the error is there. I will go ahead and check our console though and see.
Yeah, it's just a 500, which is an internal server error.
Yeah, does it say anything up above? Like, does it give a line or anything of code?
Not actually letting me move this window at all. Like it's like frozen. I'm not able to scroll up and down in there. So I broke something.
I'm checking the database. Yes, we did not get this task.
Okay. So I was wrong about being able to post that.
Oh, I think I know why, actually. We need to perform a database migration because originally we have created that as being a string, and now we're trying to submit a number, and it's probably telling us that this is not a number field.
Imagine that we changed things, and now we should do update. Okay.
And then we have to adjust.
Okay, can you walk me through that process?
Mm-hmm.
I assume I can do that, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
It's gonna be in the terminal.
Yes. So yeah, let's navigate to first the schema.prisma file.
Okay, sure. Schema Prisma. Okay, I don't have syntax highlighting. Apparently, I don't have anything in here for this. So apologies.
I can barely see. Oh no. No. So at created at, we can go ahead and I guess we'll make this a mandatory string now because there's no reason for it to be optional, right? Since we're
it would be number, right?
Yeah, it would be number.
Number. We also and ID is going to be a number, right?
I'm sorry. It's actually int is the type.
Oh.
Yeah.
Int.
There you go.
Now, do we want this to be creating an ID back here still? Should we take this out? Because we're actually creating it on the front end, and then we were eventually we're going to create it on the back end.
Let's leave it for now because creating random numbers could still technically result in the same numbers being created. It's something that exists already. But I was going to say we actually might have to use a different type for created at. Let me take a look at the docs because I don't know if it's an integer. I guess it is, right?
Well, let's see. So if
date now integer.
It's a number, right?
So it returns a floating point number instead of integer.
Well, then you do the dot. So you have to actually look up what floor, math.floor. What does that return? It should return an int.
No, math.floor will return an integer, but I think the date.now, since it's
sorry.
Yeah, it's that long string of milliseconds. I think we need to use a different type. So I'm going to look up Prisma.
So that's why you turn it into a string.
Yeah. Well, that's one potential reason. But actually, I think they have a maybe a type for that in Prisma. Okay, create a date time. Plain JavaScript dates for setting date fields. So we're not doing a new date. We are doing what?
Date.now.
I think you can try so in the Prisma file for created at set the type in Pascal case to date time, capital D, capital T on time. Okay, and let's try running the migration on that. I think that's what we want.
Okay, so I'll save that.
And then you'll
Yep.
run npx prisma migrate dev.
And okay, we're gonna stop our server.
Mm.
npx prisma
Mm-hmm.
migrate. Is that what you said?
Migrate dev. Yeah.
Like one word or two
With,
or
with 2 words. Yeah.
migrate
Yeah, it's
dev.
separate.
No, npx. You said. Oops.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm in the habit. Could not find a schema prisma file that is required.
Okay, I could not find a schema prisma file that is required for this command.
Package. I mean, I have a
Okay, do me
schema.
a favor. Pull up your package.json. That's what it was just referring to. Is that right? Let
JSON.
me
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
mine looks like compared to yours. I wonder if there's. This is why I was wondering if you needed to run the generate command as well. So you have your Prisma client. You have. You've
Prisma.
got Prisma. Okay. And then in your dev dependencies, I don't see anything there that's separate or different. Do I have anything that you don't?
Let me see if we have. Let's see. Should it be in source? I got source Prisma, client TS, schema Prisma, migrations.
I guess one thing that would be prudent is maybe just looking up that error online and seeing what the internet returns to you.
All right.
Could not find environment variables loaded from .env. Huh. There I am mumbling again. Helps me think, I guess.
Of course. Let's see about
Let me see.
this. npx Prisma. Oh, that says studio, but could not find a schema Prisma file that is required. And we're using a slightly
Yes.
different command, but Prisma, schema Prisma, it occurs whenever on npx Prisma Studio and npx Prisma migrate dev. Okay, so they, yeah. Can't go into more detail about the generated client.
Yeah, because I don't have it set as prisma.schema in my package.json. npx prisma migrate dev.
Make sure you are in the root directory with the package JSON, then run it. Could be you are just initiating the command in a nested directory.
Okay, but it looks like you're probably in the root of our folder of our project.
Yeah, I'm in the root of the project. Do I need to be in source? No, you need to be where. I guess let's see. With the package JSON, yeah, which is where I am.
Okay, and then let me just confirm. So Prisma is inside the src folder for you. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. Source Prisma.
Okay.
And schema Prisma is there, and that's where it should be.
Okay, let me make sure that's the same for me. I run this. Yeah.
I did an npm install after I pulled your changes.
My thought is like so when I started the project, or rather when I integrated Prisma last week, I ran npx Prisma generate, and I have a feeling that that did a lot of behind the scenes work that maybe you pulling down the changes didn't do.
Do I need to
So
do? If I do that, is it going to override anything? Can I just throw that out there? Try that.
um, you probably could, and I mean I'm fine with us breaking it and fixing it. But I was gonna say it says you can provide it with dash dash schema. Maybe we should just look up how to do that because I think you probably won't have to do that every time. that you run it. Maybe you just need to connect it the one time so it knows. Okay.
Yeah, so
I'll put it into the default location. Yeah, for some reason now, Prisma wants to default outside of the SRC folder, and I think that's the problem, right? Because it's looking
okay.
for it from where you are /prisma/schema.prisma, but we don't
Yeah.
have that.
Okay. So we set it as Prisma schema in your package JSON. What is okay? So if you throw in this flag schema, if you provide that, then and these are all options. You can either provide it with -- schema, and then that may be a path to the schema.
Yeah, I'm
Set it
looking
as
that up
Prisma
right now.
schema in your package JSON. Okay. So let's see.
Yeah, it looks
/
like it's -- schema and then equals the pathway from where you are to that particular
Okay. So
file.
/src/ Prisma, not Primza, right?
That's correct.
Uh, and then do I say here? I say Prisma dot
Prisma.schema. I
schema.
have no spaces between -- schema, the equal sign, or what comes after the equal sign. Yeah.
This whole thing here is one long string.
Yeah, let's try that.
Environment variables loaded from .env. Error provided schema at does not exist.
Okay.
What do you mean it doesn't exist? So we're going src Prisma schema Prisma. It absolutely exists.
Okay. Oh no, you did Prisma.schema. It's schema.prisma, right?
Ah, jeez. Okay, I've done it now too.
Prisma claims everybody. Hey, I think that's
Loaded
success.
database to do schema public. Okay. Just let it run its course here. We found changes that cannot be executed. Created at default value.
Oh, so the problem here now is that we have two files in our database that don't have a created at, and now we're setting the rule to be mandatory. So I think what needs to happen is, in fact, it might have already done it. Did it say that it deleted? Oh no, here. I need to delete these files. I'm gonna go ahead and delete both these records. I'll confirm that that's done, and then let's try to run that same
Okay.
migration again. Okay, looks like they're deleted. Let's try that again.
Always troubleshooting. Always figuring something out. Enter a name for a new migration. Okay. Update to
Created that, I guess. Yeah.
oh yeah. Update to created at just that.
Yeah, that'll do.
Applying now in sync. Generated.
Excellent.
Run the following. Update available. Run the following to update. Do you want to do that now or do that later?
Let's do that later. We don't have to.
I fully agree. Okay, so
Okay.
then if we go npm run dev, let's get that spinning back up again. So then can we do the now do I have to do the so that was the generate. Do I have to do a migration still?
You just did the migration actually.
Okay, with
So
the generate that handles it all. So it should be good to go then.
Yeah, we edited the column that handles, or the created at column. So now it's required for one, and we've changed the data type from string to integer, I guess. Um, oh, I'm sorry, not integer, to date time. Now we'll try and we'll see if date time is even the correct type, which is
Yeah.
what we're doing here.
Handle change. Interesting. Okay, so task a task, medium. All of that is working fantastically. So our form is working very, very well. Let's just see about the actual submit. Post aborted 500. Let's submit. Let's go back over here. Argument name is missing. Oh my goodness. We've changed too many things.
Argument name is missing.
I think on the database we updated that. We changed task name. It's not
right. If we're going to change, yeah. So we'll need to change the name of that.
Oh man, updating stuff when you have this many pieces that depend on each other is a lot. Okay, so we've now changed this again.
So now we'll have to run another migration.
Okay. Although now, was it npx was it Prisma migrate or
npx Prisma migrate dev. I'm curious if it's picked up and set the location now too.
Yeah,
Gonna...
I'm assuming that this would work now because we. Oh, it didn't.
Of course
Okay.
not.
So then here's our command. So we do this one now.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah. When I asked you like if we need to do migration, you're like, we just did. I thought we were doing the generate.
Oh, I see.
That's what I was thinking. It's like no, but we did. Okay. Update name to task name.
Okay,
now
wonderful.
npm run dev again. We'll get it. We'll get it. Let's see. Okay. So now, task A, task description, medium, clear, submit. What is happening? Priority, invalid value provided. Expected int, provided string.
Priority. What's our default for
Int,
priority? And that's
1?
a 1. Okay. So I guess now it's expecting an int.
I'm not
So I guess
updating.
before the send itself, we should console log what's being sent.
I have been. I thought we took a look at it, but let's do it again.
Oh, that's right here.
Priority, medium. Priority. Oh, it is coming back as a string. Okay, so
I suppose it's because we're pulling it from the HTML. Because we're not pulling it from priority options, right?
Right. Those
like doing the conversion.
We have them as numbers here, but in the select, I think it's probably changing it to a string. Right? So
I think so.
Yeah. So
where do
we want to change that? Do we want to change? So we could do like we could do new task dot priority equals new task priority. Oops. And then
is it to number, like the method?
Just wrap it as a number is one option.
Oh, there you go. Is that a way to do that?
Yeah, it's the number constructor. So we're passing in a string and it's going to output a number. Because we don't there. I don't think there is a to number like there is to string.
I see.
You can use the number here. So this would be one way to do it because we're just taking that as a string and making it a number. Another way is in our handle change. We could do a check to see if we are updating the priority, and then we could make the value a number at that point. But I guess we're already doing kind of like another like little handler here. We'll just go with this for now.
Okay.
Okay, and we didn't change anything here, so that should be fine. So we should be able to just give it another attempt, right? We don't have to restart anything. We're going to change what we sent. Priority. It's still still setting it as okay. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, I mean it's going to be that until we send it. So that's why I would like to send it, like change it when we assign, because right now
we haven't console logged that.
Right.
yet.
So in the handle change, e.target.value. Now this is the ID. So we could do a check in here. If e.target.id equals priority, then value equals number value, right? Because our value is coming in here. And then if we're updating priority, we're going to change it to a number and then assign it the same way that we do before. That's one option.
That's it, yeah.
I don't know if that's it seems concise and straightforward enough. And then that means we don't need this. Let's go back over here and see priority medium. There, priority 2. Priority 1.
Beautiful.
Priority 3. Yep. I like that a lot more.
Now will it accept our submission?
Nope. Created at invalid value. Expected date time. Got an int.
Okay, so it is an integer. Okay.
Okay. So
I was gonna suggest something real quick before we do that. There is a way to configure your package.json, and it's very easy. And this way, you won't have to include that extra flag on every command.
Throw it at me.
Yeah. So let me just confirm here. So on the same level as scripts, like you can do like a new object after scripts called Prisma.
So after scripts here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does your file convert it to JSON? I noticed that like the properties don't have quotes on them.
I have a concealer.
Okay. Very cool. And then sorry. Anyway, you'll do inside this object. There'll be a property called schema, and the value will be the pathway. So from here, it would be, I guess, src/prisma/schema.prisma.
Like so?
I think so. We'll certainly find out.
Okay. So then now we have to change this date time back to int, right?
Yes.
Because that's the error. It was saying it was getting an int. At least at least this is giving us nice error messages too. It's very specific. It's like there's no questioning like what's going on from that error message, which is super nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so now we should just be able to do npx
Prisma migrate dev.
Awesome, and then that works through there. Awesome.
Oh, love it. Okay.
Very nice addition.
And I'll just
Good
get
job.
that from you. Yeah. Thank
And
you
then
to
this
the devs that
was
did that. I just read through their the GitHub issues and everything from a few years ago.
Created at to int or chain. Yeah. Okay. And we go again. Problem is we're changing so many different things, and we just kind of I just kind of like jumped right into it.
That's okay.
I was prepared for a whole bunch of other stuff. I was not prepared to be doing the Prisma stuff. But this is actually good because I'm learning a lot this way. Because I haven't done the whole Prisma thing before, but repetition. Doing this so many times, now I know about migration. I know how to make those changes. We know about how to point the schema to a different location if necessary.
And you'll be more aware next time of potential
Yes.
pitfalls.
So just to confirm, right, again, we have false. We have created at, which is still 0. We have our description, ID, priority, task name. Clear that just for ease and submit. Another error. During query. Oh, this is less direct of an error message.
Okay.
See what's
okay. I
500.
think it might be the same thing I was kind of worried about. We might have to supply something like big int. You notice I'm able to fit integer value, and then it shows our value into an int for. Okay, right, because it's a gigantic integer. So maybe there's a better type for that. So I'm gonna look up Prisma type.
Yeah, we could do a big int.
Let's see.
And that's our date dot now, huh? Okay.
It looks like big int is a type.
Okay, we have to use big int. Okay, I'm used to doing that in blockchain world. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. Good.
So that
something matches.
So for our created at, instead of int, it's going to be big int.
Yes.
Okay.
If what I'm reading is to be believed, which
okay, and then we don't have to make a change over here, right? It's just going to give us what it's going to give us, and then we're just telling Prisma to accept that, or do we need to convert this to a big int?
No, it's already supplying a big int because it's a super long, integer.
Okay, because JavaScript also has a big int type that is specific. Like,
oh, that's right.
Yeah, because I think we could just go big int. Again, we could do a wrap like that. Not assignable to type number. It's been a little while since I've used it, though.
This is why, people told me this when I was getting in.
That's a typing issue because our type for created at is taking a number. It's not that's working fine, but here we're taking a number instead of a big number, a big int. So I don't think that we have to make this change here.
I don't think so either. Yeah, it's already supplying what we need. It's really just a database issue, I think, because it needs to know how much memory to allocate. I think is the problem.
That makes perfect sense, and that's why you have to do it in blockchain world as well, because you have very strict types, and like storage and space like that is on the blockchain is very heavily controlled within your smart contracts. So you have to do a lot of that. Okay, so we do another migration, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
I saved that. Yes, I did. Big int. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so many small steps, right?
Add to big int. Oops. Yes, so many steps. And we're back, and we're back. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it eventually. We're figuring stuff, like whenever you run into typing stuff like this, if you aren't familiar, then creates issues. Okay, and that's my dark reader browser extension creating errors.
I see. I was wondering about what that was.
yeah. It took me a while to realize because I kept getting these weird errors whenever I was working in Next, and it's because dark reader is like injecting into the browser and changing your colors. and then next senses that and is like, hey, something weird's going on.
I use that same dark reader.
Yeah, I love it. Should all be fine. We haven't changed anything there. Oh, come on. What now?
What now?
Do
Do
not know how to
Huh.
serialize a big int. JSON
Inside of
stringify.
JSON, that's true.
I mean, we're not sending it
So
a big
maybe
int.
maybe this opens up a bigger discussion on how to handle dates and why maybe.
I mean, timestamps are super. Like people use timestamps all the time. Do we need to stringify this instead of trying to do it a raw number? Do we just send it as a string?
Well, can you search the error that you got? Because other people must have dealt with this. It looks like the problem might be like where does it record it? Do we have like a spot where it tells us? No, I guess not. Do you not know? Because it's a type error at json.stringify. So that leads me to believe that it's inside the fetch request that you've defined that we're having the issue. So it's like when we try to json.stringify new task, is that what's causing the issue?
Yeah.
So
now just returns a number. It should be able to stringify a number on its own.
you would think so. Type error. I'm gonna look this up real quick. What was it?
Yeah.
What did it say exactly?
A type error. Do not know how to serialize a big int.
No. Okay, here we go. One of the first things that comes up. Do not know serious big int. Okay, let's see. No, that's not the answer. Not the one I was looking for, at least. Here, maybe it's Prisma. Prisma type error. Do not know how to serialize big int. Deepen timestamp. Okay, right. It's the beginning of your word. Okay, where did he set that up? Oh, and actually, let me check something. So actually, we did create the entry in the database. So I believe this is just an issue of the return value that we send back. I have task name, task A, completed. Yeah, okay. False, priority 0. Description was DESC. Yeah. Okay, so the task was created. Now I think we're having an issue with what it returns. So let me investigate this.
Okay, we actually had some people saying hello in the live chat. I finally found where I can see these live comments, so I'll do a little reply. You do a little bit of that.
Yeah, I'll do a little investigating here. Hmm. I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm not actually sure where the problem is. One thing I'm not sure that we've handled is when we return, like, so you've defined the function res, which basically makes an API call and then returns a value, right? Now I've used the try catch block before, but I'm very much used to when I make the API call with fetch, I do like .then,
Yep.
a little .then chain, and in the .thens, one thing I do is like we take the response, and then return response.json, like the function. And then in the next stop, then I'm able to take that response and either console log it or something like that. So maybe that's what we need to do.
Okay.
Granted, you're just saying it's a
Let's see
server
here.
error.
Locked headers. I mean, internal server error.
So yeah, I guess that wouldn't be on that side of things.
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you do like res.json
Yeah.
and then you pull out the data. But this is a server error, and the serial do not know how to serialize a big int.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm showing this also as a Prisma error specifically.
oh, okay.
So which leads me to believe it's here. Yeah, exactly. That there is something that we would need to like when we return the task on the basically the last line of this function. I think there might be things that we need to do. Let me see if I can find another answer. Some good
did
ones
you say
here.
that it created it in the database,
I did. Yeah, I see the
and it all
I
looks
see it
good
all
there?
there. Yes.
Okay, so it's being created successfully. Okay, so why don't we log our task?
Okay,
Um,
that's a good idea.
and yeah, I guess I'll just leave that for now. Let's see, what did I don't know what I changed over here. Why I need to save that exactly, but okay, we made changes to the server, so we probably need to restart this, and we'll run this again. We're gonna find something good here to learn, and that's what the stream is all about. We're here doing stuff specifically to learn, not even necessarily to make it work, but to name, description, medium, hit submit, and what do we get here? Okay, our task name, description, created at. So yeah, it's a big number because that's what that n at the end means of big number. That's the way
Oh,
to
interesting.
notate.
I was wondering what
To,
that was. Yeah.
yep, yep, yep. So it's like at the beginning of a hashed number, you have a 0x, which also you see all over blockchain because all of your addresses are hashed, right? So it's like
Mhm.
everything is 0x. So that's a prefix that just notates, hey, the number that you're seeing next is not hashed. Hexadecimal? No, it's hashed.
Okay.
Shoot, I'm missing
Um,
the naming out. But anyways, that's big number.
just judging from what I'm seeing from initial research, it definitely looks like the problem is one with Prisma, and it might not even be a problem because yeah, now I have the second entry in our database as well. So this is
Okay.
something probably to look into because
Okay.
we don't want to
Sure.
be getting errors, of course, but I'm sure
But
this
it's
is something
working.
solvable. It is working. Yes, we are
Okay.
receiving and generating actual entries, and it actually looks like it's already putting the IDs that we submit instead of an incremented ID. So we'll have to think of. I'll look into UUID for our next
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. I think that'll be the
And
thing to do on the back end
yeah,
portion. Okay. So we're returning that. We're not getting our return, or are we here? We're getting this back. No, this is the console log from the front. So that's not actually coming from the back end. We're getting an error from the back end. We're not getting our task and our status 2.1.
we're also not returning the response yet in the front end. We're console logging, but we're not actually returning it.
Return. Oh, sorry. Res. I mean console log res. That's the
But
response, right?
we don't return the value. So like we couldn't use the value yet because we don't have it like actually coming out. We do have we're logging it though. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
almost like a
So do I,
nitpick,
I
but
need to do const data equals await res dot JSON?
well, just somewhere at the end of the try, we want to return
The
um,
date.
like return data or return res or what have you.
Well, uh, uh, return.
That might
So
give
I don't
us
know
that
where I
might
would return it from or to. Like I'm sending it to the.
oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't know what you
Right,
mean by
because
return. Like this
this is
is
the
it.
handle submit.
We're just gonna take a look at it, right? Let me try this now.
Well, maybe a better name than return is like I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, JSON
Unexpected
input
end of
handle
JSON.
submit. Yeah, I don't think the res has a .json on it.
No. I have to head out, but this is all stuff that we'll
Yeah.
investigate next week.
Okay, ran into something there, but that's okay. That's cool. Sweet. Yeah. Uh, well, we definitely learned some stuff there. I got a little bit acquainted with Prisma, which is something I've been wanting to learn for a while, anyways. And yeah, we'll have to research why exactly this is happening. But otherwise, fun time.
Yeah, this was a good session. It didn't, we ran into more errors than I think either of us expected, but this is the process.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, we'll pick up here next time. We can look into some of this to try and get it to be successful before next stream, and then we can dive into finishing the full cycle of retrieving from the database, putting the to-dos on the screen, and then we're going to use Zod for some form validation as well. So that'll
That's
be really
right.
fun. All right, cool. Well, thank you, Courtney, for being here. Thanks for everybody that's been watching, and we will be back again next week.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
See ya. All right. Live stream ended.
Excellent.
Oofda. Wow. That was not what I was expecting.
That was plenty of issues, huh?
Yeah. Too many.
Listen, man, I have to jet right now.
Yep.
But good stuff today. We'll wrap up like over messages or something later today.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'll get this all committed. I'll break it up into some commits and get it sent off, and then we can work on it. So cool. Well, have a good time with your family, and we'll
I
chat later.
will. Yeah, have a good weekend, Spencer.
Yeah, you too. Bye.